僕は、デミウルゴスが好きですね。特に今回の西洋国編で彼の立ち回りが勝手にですけど僕と被るというか被るっていうかなんか僕も彼のようにありたいって思う。彼すごいなんかアインズのためにこう一生懸命頑張るキャラクターなんですけど、セリフとかもそうなんですけど、音楽のために少し貢献することが私の喜びですみたいなキャラクターなんですけど、なかなかそうは思えないんですよ。もう監督とかがわがまま言うとなんだこいつはって思うこともあるんですけど、彼のようにピュアな心でフィルムに向き合えたら嬉しいな、いいなって思ってますね。実際そうじゃないんですけど、だから好きです彼は。
Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is the Anime Effect. Each week we're bringing you interviews with amazing people from across the world of anime, from directors to actors to artists, and much, much more to discuss their work and their anime faves. It's pop culture with an anime lens. Today we are excited to share with you our interview with the director of the Overlord TV anime series and Overlord the Sacred Kingdom, Naoyuki Itō, as well as the film's producer, Kentarô Hashimoto. Lena Lemon and I spoke with them about what working on the film meant to them and their approach to this new facet of the Overlord story.
Yeah, obviously it's so wonderful to work with Lena again. She's a great co-host. And then I actually wasn't on this interview, but I was in the room.
Yeah.
And yeah, really fun to kind of hear about that, like from the source. I'm really excited for that. But afterwards, we're going to be recommending our favorite OVAs and sharing our ideal slice of life crossovers.
Oh, that's fun. All right. I'm your host, LeAlec Murray.
And I'm Leah President.
And we are both here together to see just how powerful the effect of anime really is. Okay, it's the most wonderful time. Nick, you can't stop me. You're not here.
My most wonderful time already passed, Halloween. But this is my second most wonderful.
Yeah, Christmas is upon us.
I'm a sucker for the music. Like, love it.
The music, the lights, the trees.
But yeah, so this is Thanksgiving when it's Black Friday when you're hearing this.
Yeah.
So a lot of you are probably out Christmas shopping. Maybe you're listening in as you dart feverishly from shop to shop.
I don't know. Do people dart for Black Friday anymore?
I don't know. I don't think there's any more pushing so everyone chilled out.
So like for me, like I spent way too long in retail, and like that was during the era of like when Black Friday actually was like Black Friday, right? Where people are like, oh, you got to open early. You got to rush to get this, this, and that. And people camping. Like, listen, I remember like having to open my store at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and people would be waiting for me to get there. And it would be the most awkward thing because it'd be like, I'm like counting the tills or like just doing like inventory count and people are just staring at me through the window. And I'm like, no, guys, please, no, I'm not open yet. I'll have whatever game you want. They sent me like a bajillion Maddens. So
you worked at a store. It was GameStop, right?
Yeah.
You worked at a store where it's like, okay, every single kid is asking for something that is in that store. So I can imagine it's pretty crazy.
So it did get pretty nuts, especially like in console years. So when we would have like a console release year, those years are always the toughest because like people like kids want the new console for
exactly.
For their,
I was among them.
Present. Well, they go. You were one.
I had an older brother though, so it was always like his console, but we shared it.
Yeah, that was always a thing. But yeah, I don't feel like I feel like people start like companies have started some kind of Black Friday-esque like really early.
Everything's online.
Yeah, and everything
is there something
online.
that you're plotting on for a Black Friday deal?
I don't think I'm really plotting on anything specifically. Like I kind of have planned out what I want to do gift wise for people. Yeah. But it's crazy because believe it or not, a lot of people in my family are not of the nerdy persuasion. So I do have to kind of veer, shopping targets.
My little sister, I got her a Switch a couple of years back and she was like, I want more Nintendo games. I'm like, there's a new system coming out soon. So
Whatever that
I'm
is.
hesitant to like get her a bunch of Switch games and then.
But as far as we know, the original Switch games will work on Switch 2.
Oh, that's right. They're backwards compatible. I forgot about that. Like the PS5. But yeah, personally, I'm looking for a new PC because one resolution and something that I have been working on, I've been really studying is working in Unreal Engine and like
interesting.
Trying to like create like games or at least like character models and stuff like that. It's something I'm super, super interested in. And I've always been a fan of like, I don't know if you watch like Corridor Digital.
I don't.
They do like the VFX artist react series. They're super, super cool. I'm just so inspired by them. And also just, you know, my love of video games, lifetime love of video games and like creating. And it is my resolution to like basically work my way through a certification program and like make some kind of basic game by the end of next year. So yeah.
I mean, if you like those guys, there's a YouTube channel called I think it's Game Maker's Toolkit. And it's this guy that like breaks down the fundamentals of like game development, like from like animation to like level design. Like he's done a lot of videos on like Legend of Zelda and like the boss design and stuff like that.
I love those kinds of videos.
It's so cool.
Like just seeing how something works and like I'm the person that watches all of the behind the scenes footage of like any game that I love. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's I need something that's like it has like a really good graphics card, like NVIDIA. I think it's NVIDIA graphics card.
Yeah. Hopefully, I do want to build a PC. That's like my way off project. So hopefully I can find some parts on sale.
It'll be new for me, but yeah, something I'm looking at.
For sure.
So let us know what you guys are shopping for. What's on your wish list? Maybe it'll help me be inspired on what to get my teenage sister.
Oh, there you go.
Because they want one thing one week and then something the other. So I need to know what the kids are saying is cool.
That's what it means to be a teenager. All right, y'all. Coming up next is Leah and I's conversation with Naoyuki Itō and Kentarô Hashimoto, the director and producer of Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom. You do not want to miss out. This was such a cool interview. Stick around. Coming to you from New York Comic Con. That's right, New York Comic Con. This is the Anime Effect. Each week, we bring you the latest news and views from the shows you love. It's pop culture with an anime lens. Today, we are so excited to be here with the director of the Overlord anime TV series and Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom, Naoyuki Itō, as well as the film's producer, Kentarô Hashimoto. Thank you both so much for coming to the Anime Effect. It's gonna be great. I love Overlord.
It's very excited. Thank you for being here.
Now, could you guys take a moment to introduce yourself to the viewers and listeners at home?
こんにちは。オーバーロードテレビシリーズと劇場版西欧国編の監督伊藤です。伊藤直之と申します。
はい、マッドハウス、プロデューサーの橋本健太郎です。よろしくお願いします。
To start off, I wanted to ask the both of you, what was your gateway anime? So the very first anime that you remember loving watching.
僕の世代は割とそんな感じが多いんですけど、宇宙戦艦ヤマトであるとか、機動戦士ガンダムであるとか、そういうなんか、よくあるロボットアニメであるとか、バトルシーンのあるアニメが好きでした。
Me too.
Yes, I'm very mech coded.
Is that you as well?
僕の時はもう少し伊藤さんよりも世代が少し若いので子供の時にドラゴンボールとか、で業界に入ったきっかけはカーボーイビューアップであったりトライガンであったりとかになりますね。
Yes, I love Trigun and Bebop as well. So we're probably in the same generation.
Bebop truly has one of the best music.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I wish there was more stuff like Bebop and Trigun, probably because I love the bounty hunter kind of old west style. But hopefully we'll get more. Ito-san, what drew you to Overlord as a property, and what made you want to work on the property itself?
橋本さんがプロデューサーで、彼が僕に参加しないかっていうところから入ってます。内容的にもでも原作を最初ウェブノベルで読んでて非常に面白いと思いました。ただリザードマンの出てくる話は 何を読まされてるんだろうという感じがすごいしていたのを覚えましたし、これをアニメ化するっていうのはちょっとチャレンジングだなと思いました。
What's been your favorite part of working on Overlord so far?
そうね、でも、なんだろう。こう、絵を作る。それに対して、こう、声が入るっていう時に、こちらの思った通りの声が入ることによって、キャラクターが生き生きとする感じというのは非常に面白いと思いました。この作品でも、特に先ほど言ってたリザードマンであるとか、人間じゃない人たちの声が、アインズの骸骨もですけど、どんな声かわからないじゃないですか。そこにこう役者さんが声を入れることによって、そのキャラクターがそのキャラクターになっていく感じがすごい面白いと思いました。
That's so interesting. That's true. It's like on paper, right?
Right.
They're not human.
Right.
And you're like, what are they gonna sound like?
I have to figure out how a big skeleton man
Exactly. So for Hashimoto-san, similar question. What led you to working on Overlord, and what would you say your favorite part was working on the franchise?
僕、オーバーロードがちょうど10周年を去年迎えたんですけど、お話をいただいたのは12年ぐらい前になるんですけど、その頃はライトノベルという媒体からアニメにするプロジェクトが多くて、角川の方からオーバーロードの原作をいただいて読ませていただいて、すごく不思議で面白い物語だったので、制作させていただくことに決めました。
And what would you say your favorite part?
そうですね。こうやって作品がすごく最初は割とそんなにメジャーじゃなかったと思うんですよ。小説もすごい分厚いし、なんでアニメ化することがきっかけで多くの方に作品を知ってもらえて、そういう声が今だとSNS とかでダイレクトにクリエイターだったりとか自分だったりとかにも聞こえてくるので、その時に作品が広がっていくのがすごく楽しかったし、嬉しかったですね。
That's a good point to see it go from a light novel that may not have had that much mainstream popularity and turning it into.
But people love it now. Did you guys experience any obstacles or challenges when adapting the source material to film? I know we talked last night and you brought up that you were trying a new technique to try and help the production of the film.
まず、原作小説が非常に長かったんですね。で、なので、これをどのようなパッケージにするかという問題から映画っていうのはスタートしてるんですけど、シリーズにするには少し短いのと、あと、物量がとてつもないので、なので、ちょっと、そのシリーズの中でやるのは困難ではないかという、ちょっと残虐なシーンがあるというのもあるんですけど、やはり一番は物量だったかもしれないなというのが少しあって、で、それでじゃあ映画にしようと。ただ、映画にするっていうと、やっぱり2時間であるとか、そういうタイム、時間にしなきゃいけないんですけど、じゃあそれを、できるかと思ったときに、なかなかじゃあ全部の描写を入れることができないから、カットしなきゃいけない。そのタイミングでどういうふうにカットするかっていうことに対して、やはり、そこに映画としてどう成立させるかっていうことと関連づけられるのではないかということで、非常に、考えました。で、結論として、一応、ネアっていう女の子を主人公にして、その女の子から見える、アインズであるとか、ナーザリックの面々であるというのを、見せるっていう、画面の選択をすることによって、ネアと、あとどうなんでしょう、敵対するわけではないんですけど、相反するレメディオスというキャラクターの描写を、書きつつ、今までナザリックのメンツで登場はしていたんだけど、あまり活躍していなかったシズ・デルタという女の子とネアのコンビネーションって特別な手法の話って言ってましたよね。どうなんだろうな。アメリカのアニメーションだと割と最初に声を収録して、 で、それに対して、絵をつけていくっていうのが一般的なんですが、日本では逆で、絵が完成してから、役者さんの声を入れるってことの方がメジャーだったりするんですが、今回に関しては、アメリカのスタイルに近い形っていうんですかね。一応、先に声を収録させていただいて、で、それに合わせて、絵を作っていくっていう方法は、まあ、アメリカの方にとってはそんなに、普通のことかもしれないですけど、日本では割とチャレンジングな方法として採用させていただきました。
That's really cool. I think like knowing that, I feel like I'll watch it with that in mind almost, right?
Yes.
そうですね。あと、役者さんの芝居のニュアンスが、そのままダイレクトに、画面に反映されるっていう、感じになるといいなというところで、そういう方法を取りました。
So, is there a particular theme or message that you're hoping the fans will see or catch on while watching the film?
はい、原作を知ってる方だと、さっき監督も言いましたけど、物語の視点が、ゲスト側に向いてるので、ゲストから見た、物語。で、原作を知ってる方だと、その裏で動いているアインズであったりとか、他のキャラクターたちの思惑っていう二つの面があると思うので、そういったものを、楽しんでもらえると、嬉しいなと思ってます。
So we have to ask, who are your favorite characters in Overlord?
それは難しいのは難しいですよ。僕の仕事としては、カット単位で、いろんなフレームにキャラクターを入れていくっていう作業だったりするので、そのフレームに入っているキャラクターはいつも全部大好きです。
That's like asking who your favorite child is, right? At the end of the day, it is a hard question.
その通りです。もうね。
僕は、デミウルゴスが好きですね。特に今回の西洋国編で彼の立ち回りが勝手にですけど、僕と被るというか、なんか僕も彼のようにありたいって思う。彼すごいなんかアインズのために一生懸命頑張るキャラクターなんですけど、セリフとかもそうなんですけど、音楽のために尽くし、貢献することが私の喜びですみたいなキャラクターなんですけど、なかなかそうは思えないんですよ。監督とかがわがまま言うと、なんだこいつはっていうこともあるんですけど、彼のように、ピュアな心で、フィルムに向き合えたら、嬉しいな、いいなって思ってますね。実際そうじゃないんですけど、だから好きです、彼は。
でもやばいことやってるぜ、あいつ。すげええげつねえんだ。
I mean, you say that, but I think from the outside, people must think that you are like that, right? Putting in your all for this film. Everyone's very strict with themselves, but I think from the outward, I think you're doing an amazing job. All right, so is there a special message that you would like to share with the fans?
そうですね。今、さっきプロデューサーも言いましたけど、割とオーバーロードの原作を知っている方と知っていない方で、ちょっと反応が変わってしまうような作品になっていたりとか、あとは、なんか見ている人によって、価値観が割とぐちゃぐちゃになったりとかする感じもあったりはするので、原作が好きな方はもちろん見ていただきたいですけど、今までこのオーバーロードという作品に触れていなかった方々にも、見ていただくとちょっと面白いリアクションがあっていいのかなと思いますので、ぜひよろしく見ていただければと思います。
そうですね。いくつか受け取り手側でテーマとかが感じ方がいろいろ違うような作品になってると思うので、原作知ってる方も知らない方も楽しめるようになってると思うので。
I, for one, am very excited to see the movie. I've only been able to see clips, and I can already tell you guys have put a lot of work into this film. Thank you so much for more Overlord. I'll take more Overlord anytime.
He's like, yes, please.
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
that was such a fun conversation. I really enjoyed talking to those guys. I'm still kind of baby brand new and experiencing Overlord. Like I'm right at the tail end of season 1.
Yeah.
It was just one of those ones that came out like kind of in the pandemic timing, and then I found other stuff to watch instead of Overlord, so I'm kind of running through it now. But talking to those guys was absolutely amazing, and I'm ready to catch up so I can see the film. But now it's time for the recommendations. All right, y'all, this week we are recommending some of our favorite OVAs, some of our favorite extra episodes.
Extra in a different way.
Extra in a different way. Leah, what you got for me?
Yeah, so no surprise to anybody, I'm going to recommend the Attack on Titan OVAs. And here's the thing, like I'm breathing new life into my fandom right now because I have a lot of new friends around me that are getting into it for the first time. Like they just did their first watch through.
So it's reignited your whole
I'm living vicariously through them right now and like getting reignited. And I think the algorithm knows that too, because on TikTok I'm being fed like just Attack on Titan edits, Attack on Titan lore. So I'm going to be hitting it a little harder than usual. I know I mention it like at least once a week, but now it's going to be twice a week. But my favorite OVA pretty much of all time are the Attack on Titan. It's a 2-parter called No Regrets. And basically what it is, it's the backstory of how Levi and Erwin met.
Oh, wow.
So this is before Levi was ever in the Survey Corps. He was like a career criminal pretty much with him and his 2 friends. And they're basically these strange circumstances lead them to trying to pull a heist on the Survey Corps. I think the No Regrets OVA has the best Titan fight in the entire series.
Oh.
So, and you have to watch the OVA to see it, which is like so sad, but like it like is, in my opinion, the coolest abnormal Titan in the entire canon and the coolest Titan fight, which is huge because we see Levi do some of the best like ODM gear takedowns in the show. This one that he does in episode 2 of this OVA by a mile, I think is one of the coolest Levi moments.
Crazy. So, that is crazy to say.
Yeah.
So I have, listen, you guys don't have to bear with me, okay? Because I'm gonna give you more Toku stuff, okay? So I mean, first off, I mean I've been watching a ton of Kamen Rider, just trying to like catch up because like between that and Super Sentai, like I've been trying to catch up on a lot of stuff. But Kamen Rider always does like really cool spinoffs from the main story. So they'll have like the story that's based off the main hero, and then they'll like spin out. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but for Kamen Rider 01, they did a spinoff that was about the 2 partners that he had that were on the police force, and they're also Kamen Riders, and it basically just talks about their journey like on the force, like after the events of 01. And I really like 01 as a series because it deals a lot with like AI and technology and its effect on like people. A
divisive topic.
Yeah, so it's a really good series. So I definitely recommend, like, if you haven't watched 01, it's funny because I just bought the belt for it. If you haven't watched 01, definitely watch it and then watch the spinoff after that too. But then if we can count these, the Dragon Ball like movie specials, because they're technically not canon.
I wanted to talk about movie specials too. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones is the Tree of Might with Turles, who's the main villain. That was great. Like I for whatever reason, like Dragon Ball Legends, the mobile game, did like this whole like summer of like sagas from the movies, and like one of the marquee ones was the Tree of Might, and you had Turles was a special unit. Anyway, getting too deep in my mobile meta right now, but no, the Tree of Might, like, absolutely love it. Like, I think the fights are great. This is pre like Super Saiyan, like Gohan and like super overpowered Piccolo, and still got baby Gohan and all that jazz. So it's a great like movie. Dragon Ball has a lot of great like special movies, so
yeah,
definitely recommend that one for sure.
Yeah, that's a good especially since like I feel like people are always hungering to bite off more of like basically the essence of an OVA is they come about when naturally, like when putting together an anime adaptation, you can't really put together all the details. You can't fit it all in. And so it kind of gets born out of like fans really attaching themselves to something or wanting to see more adaptations of stuff that was in the manga that didn't get, touched the first time around. And yeah, so that's my personal love of OVAs is like nerds like us that we're reading the content and we're watching it. We're like, man, I really wish they included
there was more
that.
stuff. Yeah.
That also is like with me with like Attack on Titan, the whole like backstory with like Ilsa's notebook and like learning about the first time they encountered Titans that could speak and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll stop talking there. But
No, that was great. All right, well, that was our favorite OVAs, y'all. Please share what you guys are, because I know there's probably a lot that we're missing. But we have more recommendations from Lisa via our question form. Been getting into webtoons lately thanks to Tower of God, Omniscient Reader. Thanks, LeAlec. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And Solo Leveling. However, the one that I'm currently obsessed with is Teenage Mercenary. The story is about Jin trying to live his life as a normal high schooler after living as a mercenary for years.
Don't you hate that?
Right.
That sounds like your forger, like trying to be a mom.
I also love the heartwarming and dorky moments throughout the story. I picked this webtoon up on a whim for a long flight and can't stop reading it. Highly recommend. Love a webtoon rec in here.
And we love a flight read.
And a flight read. It's a good one.
Gets us through it. Okay, it's time to open that mailbag right up. This one's from Adam, wrote in from our question form. They ask, what shows would you be interested in seeing become a slice of life crossover? And they say, Goblin Slayer, maybe?
Oh my God.
JK. Oh man. I want to pick like the most like gory, deadly thing to like, because once they go into slice of life, it has to be like the biggest clash.
Yeah.
Which is something I really loved with, oh man, what is it? The Way of the House Husband.
Yeah.
That was one where it's like the best part about the show is like the conflicting expectations of the character. So, man, to change into a slice of life.
I'm going to say Hell's Paradise. I'm gonna say Hell's Paradise. Yeah. Because Gabimaru, you don't really like, you just see him like as a like prisoner and like trying to get his wife back. But you don't really see like any of his, you kind of get glimpses of his life kind of intermittent between the show, but you don't really get a lot of him just kind of, being a wife guy. So I would
going grocery shopping.
Just going
and
grocery shopping. Yeah. So I think that would be cool. Like, I think that's my answer, because everything else I thought of kind of has a slice of life equivalent. But yeah, Hell's Paradise is going to be my answer for that one.
Man, this one is hard because, like I said, like I'm going through like my favorite horror genres and stuff. Because I'm like, well, what would be like funny?
A ton of them. Yeah.
How about Serial Experiments Lane? Except she just decides to play like a game on floppy disk instead of going on an existential journey through the internet.
Yeah, maybe.
What if she just like played The Sims? What if she was just like another 90s kid just like playing a dress-up doll game instead of like having a crisis of self?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one.
I mean, I could also do a slice of life JoJo's, instead of them also always having to chase a Dio or Dio relative.
Just like it would just be like the reincarnations, like actual generations of people just like living their lives without like imminent threat.
Right.
That would be funny.
Well, thank you, Adam. And thank you, Lisa. If you guys want to submit your questions and your recs, or, whatever, your hot takes, whatever, not only should you comment on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and
which we have video on now, so you might be seeing us on that video episode if you're watching on Spotify.
But you can also use our question form. It is got.cr/anime effect questions. Again, that is got.cr/anime effect questions. Hope to hear from you soon. All right, Leah, take us out. Let's do it. Take us out.
Thank you again for joining us on another episode of The Anime Effect, brought to you by Crunchyroll and Sony Music Entertainment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
The Anime Effect is hosted by me, LeAlec Murray, Leah President, and Papa Nicholas Friedman. We are executive produced by Jonathan Hurst, Joanna Clay, and Nick Friedman. Our lead producer is Kyla Carnero. Our associate producer is Zoe Koken. Vince Garza filmed and Zachy Pelt edited the video. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Carla Solorzano and Tamika Balance Kalazny.
We'll be back next week with even more anime, of course.
More anime, and there's nothing you could do about it, y'all.